If you're looking for a step-by-step plan of what you should be doing with your money right now as soon as you get paid, that way you never have to worry about money again in the future, you're in the right place, so make sure you watch this video until the end. What's up everybody, I am Jasprit Singh for theminorityMindset.com, where money minds rethink rich. The whole idea of you becoming wealthy or financially free means that you don't have to worry about money. Now that might sound good in theory, but what does it really mean? What does it mean to be wealthy and not have to worry about money? Well, if you want to quantify that, what that means to be wealthy is when your investments exceed your expenses. So when you make more money from your investments than you do your expenses, now you're wealthy because you're free. Your investment money is something that's going to come into your pocket no matter what, even if you're going to work or not going to work. And if this money right here is more than what you're paying out every single month, now you're free, because even if you're on a beach in Hawaii, you still got money coming in to pay all your bills. So now, if this is our goal, your goal is to have your investments exceed your expenses, now we can work backwards. What do you got to do to get this type of wealth? Well, this is what we're going to talk about in 7 different steps. But before we get into that, I need you to do me a quick favor and smash the thumbs up button below. And if you haven't already, be sure to join our brand new free Discord server, which we call the Guac Talk community, because as we all know, extra guac is truly a symbol of extra wealth, and in this community you can chat with other minority mindset thinkers about the stock market, the real estate market, the cryptocurrency market, and all things building wealth. This community is completely free, so if you want to join the community, chat with other minority mindset thinkers, and network with other minority mindset thinkers, I got the link to how you can join in the description below. The first thing you got to do is you got to divide the money. As soon as you get paid, you have to separate the money that you make. So I have 3 different bank accounts, 3 different types of bank accounts. So as soon as I get paid, this money goes into bank account 1. We'll call this bank 1. This right here is going to be my checking account. So this is my checking. This is the money that I use to spend. Then the money will also be divided into bank number 2. This is going to be my savings. And then you have bank number 3. This is my investing money. So money goes into here, and then it is going to be divided. I'm going to put some of this money here, and some of this money is going to go here, and I have a system that automates this. That way I don't have to manually do this every single month. Now I have multiple accounts, but essentially what I'm doing is I just want to separate the money that I have. That way I know how much money I can spend, I know how much money is going to be my savings, and I know how much money I can use to invest. So this spending money is how much money I'm allowed to go out and spend on things like clothes and vacations and trips and restaurants and food and all of that other stuff. This is my spending money. This way I don't go out and actually spend my savings, my emergency savings, or my investment money. Every single month, I put money towards my investments. I don't put any more money towards my savings because I already have a savings cushion built, but I take all my extra money and I put it here. So I have actually a few different investment accounts. I have some that are automatically invested into the market, but then I also have an investment bank account. This is just an account with cash sitting there that's waiting to be invested. So I'm looking for deals. I'm looking for real estate investment deals. I'm looking for other deals that might come my way. And when I find that deal, I have this cash already put aside. So what you need to do is you gotta first separate the money that you're making. You wanna know how much money you can spend, you wanna know how much money you should be saving, and you wanna know how much money you should be investing every single month as soon as you get paid. And you wanna put them in different accounts, because if you keep all this money in one account, well then you're not gonna know how much money is for your savings and how much money is for your investments and how much money you're supposed to spend. So now when you go to the store and you see that TV on sale, well you got the money in your account, so you might as well buy it. One of the easiest things that you can do is follow our 75-15-10 plan, which says that for every dollar that you earn from now on, 75 cents is the maximum that you can spend. 15 cents, sorry I put this on the wrong side, is the minimum you should be investing, and 10 cents is the minimum that you should be saving. Now you have a financial system. Now you know that anytime you make a dollar, it's got to flow through this funnel, and you know that you cannot spend this full dollar. Some of this dollar is going to have to be invested, and some of this dollar is going to have to be saved. Once you build a savings cushion, somewhere between 3 months and a year's worth of expenses, now you don't want to save any more money, because saving is losing. Saving is not going to make you wealthy. Your savings are just there to protect you against a financial emergency. Once you have your savings built, now your goal is to invest as aggressively as possible. We're going to talk more about this in a second, but you want to invest as aggressively aggressively as possible because these investments are what are going to make you wealthy. These investments are what's going out and working hard every single day to earn you money, even if you're not working hard to earn money. The second thing that you have to understand, if you ever want the chance to become wealthy, is you have to understand the difference between a liability and an asset. A liability is something that takes money away from you and this money doesn't come back. An asset is something that takes money away from you with the purpose of bringing you more money back. This is where the majority of people are spending all of their money. They make money and now they want to show off this new money that they have. So they go out to the Gucci store, they buy themselves a nice wardrobe, they buy a nice car, they go on a fancy trip. And so they're blowing their money on nice things, which are liabilities. These things make you look rich, but they keep you poor. Assets are things that you buy for the sole purpose of making money. When you go to the mall and you buy a whole bunch of brand new clothes, these things don't make you any money. You spend this money, you give this money to the store owner, and now that money is gone. You're a consumer. When you're buying assets, now you're becoming a producer. What you're doing now is you're not buying the product, you're buying the company. When you're buying assets, you're buying shares of companies. That way now, instead of you going to the mall and shopping at the mall, you're shopping for companies and buying ownership in companies. Or you're buying real estate, or you're buying commodities. You're buying something for the sole purpose of making money. So when you buy assets, you're buying this thing, that way you can become wealthy. When you buy liabilities, you're buying this thing that makes you look wealthy, but it actually keeps you broke. This is where things get interesting, because I spend a lot of money, and I'm trying to spend more money every single year. But I'm not spending money the way the majority of people think of spending money. When I talk about spending more money every year, I'm not just talking about spending more money here, I'm talking about spending more money here. I'm trying to grow my business. So when we talk about buying assets, I'm trying to buy things that are gonna help grow my business. So when I'm trying to increase my expenses, I'm trying to increase my expenses so I can grow my income even bigger. I'm trying to buy more investments. I'm trying to buy more investment properties. And so I'm trying to grow my asset pool because I wanna spend as much money as possible here because I know these are gonna pay for these. This is where you should probably understand that the cash that you have, your dollars, the money in your bank account, your cash is not an asset. Your cash is actually a liability because the value of your cash is dropping each and every day. You're seeing inflation happen right around you. And so every single day, the value of your dollars are becoming less and less. $1,000 back in the year 1990 had way more value and way more buying power than $1,000 does today. Why? Because our money has been diluted over time. And so our money doesn't have as much buying power today as it did before, and our money in the future is not gonna have as much buying power as it did today. So what you wanna do and understand is that one, your cash is a liability, so you wanna use your cash the right way. That's why I'm trying to use as much of my cash as possible to buy assets, because these are things that are gonna be worth more, things that are gonna make me more money. Now, that being said, you wanna make sure you use your cash smartly. I'm not saying just get rid of all your cash and buy a whole bunch of liabilities. That's even worse than storing cash. You want to make sure you keep some cash for emergencies. You're going to make sure you have some savings. That way you have cash to fall back on if a financial emergency happens. And then you want to use as much of this cash as possible to turn that cash into assets, because your cash right now is a liability. What you want to do is you want to take this cash, which is a liability, and turn it into something like an asset, which is going to make you more money and is going to make you wealthier. Third, now when we're talking about you spending your money, you have to understand the difference between a need and a want. So at this point, a lot of people say, okay, yeah, this investing thing sounds cool and I'd love to do that, but how the heck am I supposed to find the cash to invest? I'm barely able to pay my rent as it is. How do you expect me now to find some extra cash to put aside to invest my money when I can barely pay my bills? Well, before we start talking about how you can earn more money or invest smartly, the first thing you gotta do is you gotta understand the difference between a need and a want. Because it doesn't matter how much money you make if you don't know how to use the money that you make. If you cannot manage $100, you can't suddenly manage $1,000 or $1 million. So the first thing you have to do when it comes to managing your money is you have to understand the difference between a need and a want, because a lot of times we get our needs and our wants confused, especially when it comes to money. You need a car to get to and from work, but you just want a Beamer with a $700 a month payment. You need a home to live in, but you just want to have a fancy apartment that's costing you $1,800 a month. You need food to eat. You just want to shop at Whole Foods and Trader Joe's. If you're not willing to make any financial sacrifices, it's gonna be very hard for you to become wealthy, because you're not willing to go through the pain that it takes to become wealthy. Because the first step to doing that is, first, you have to understand what you really need and go down to your needs. That way you can use all this extra money between your needs and your wants, and you can put this money to work. You can put this money towards your savings or investments. That way you can start building your wealth. But the only way you can get that extra cash is if you stop spending so much money. Now, if you stop spending spending so much money, you're gonna suddenly have some extra cash in your bank account. Now you can take this cash and invest it. So you wanna stop spending so much money so you can have some money to start funding your investments. This is where you have to understand number 4, how to afford what you're actually buying. I was on Instagram yesterday afternoon and I saw this influential Instagram page post this guy, and I'm pretty sure it was an advertisement. It was a shout out that someone paid for, but he posted this guy and it was this person who was sitting on a Rolls Royce with a Lamborghini behind him in front of this massive house, and the caption said something along the lines of, look at me, I make $100,000 a month thanks to the system that I created, and if you want to learn how I make $100,000 a month, then follow me and then ultimately buy my program. Most people assume that if I have $1,000 to my name, I have $1,000, that means I can go out and I can afford a $1,000 vacation because, well, I got $1,000. But there's a difference between being able to buy something and being able to afford something. Yeah, you can go out and buy that $1,000 vacation because you have $1,000, and even if you don't have $1,000, you can go out and buy the vacation thanks to the help of easy financing. But just because you can buy something does not mean that you can afford it. When it comes to liabilities, so things that don't make you any money, you need to set a stricter standard for yourself so you don't just go out and keep blowing your money on a whole bunch of liabilities that you can't really afford. And so to set that standard for yourself, one of the easiest things that you can do is just follow a rule of 5, which is for liabilities that you do not need to survive. A rule of 5 says that if you cannot buy 5 of them, you cannot afford 1 of them. So if you want to go on a $1,000 vacation, sure, just make sure you can buy it 5 times over. The reason why this concept is getting so hard and is only getting harder is because we live in a spending culture and it is becoming easier and easier to spend money that we don't have. First, it was through credit cards and lines of credit, but everyone kind of became accustomed to that. Now we're seeing the growth of new things like Affirm and Afterpay. So if you go shopping online on the internet, now these stores are gonna have the option for you to buy whatever clothes or whatever you want online, and then you can just buy it now and pay for it later in 5 easy installments. This is the culture that we're living in right now, where when I want something, I want it now. Who cares if I can't afford it? I can buy it now. But if you want to be that financially smart person and that wealthy person that doesn't have to worry about money, you got to start worrying about money today so you understand how to use that money today. You need to be the person that's paying that price today. That way you understand what you're doing with your money so you're not paying that price tomorrow plus interest. So when it comes to your liabilities, for one, no more financing your clothes or your shoes or your cars. These are things that you got to be able to afford with cash. The only thing that you should consider financing is your house. Second, when it comes to actually being able to afford what you want, now you got to understand what it means to buy something and being able to afford something. So if you want to afford something, you got to follow the rule of 5. Now, if you've been following the 4 things that I've told you up to this point, what you're going to see happen is all of a sudden, you're going to have some extra cash in your bank account because you're not blowing all of your money on things that you don't need, and you're not blowing all of your money on liabilities, and now you have some extra cash. And now you're going to wonder, okay, how do I put this cash to work, and how do I make this cash make me more money? Well, this is where we come to number 5. Now you gotta invest your money, put your money to work, that way your money can make you some more money. The 2 most common places where you can invest your money are real estate and stocks. When you go out and you invest in real estate, now you're trying to buy a rental property. You're gonna buy a house, or you're gonna buy an apartment complex, you're gonna buy a building, and you're gonna take this building and not live there yourself, but you're gonna rent this property out to somebody else, so somebody else is gonna use this asset that you now own, and they're gonna pay you every single month for using it. You just have to buy that property once, and now for the rest of time, somebody's gonna have to pay you for living there until you sell the property. So once you buy this asset once, you own it, and it's gonna continue to produce you cash flow as long as you own it. So with real estate, you're trying to produce cash flow. You're trying to buy an asset, you're trying to buy a property, you want someone else to live there, and they're gonna pay you cash every single month. If you do this right, this rental income that you're getting is gonna pay for your taxes, your insurance, your maintenance, your management, and your other fees, and it's gonna leave a little bit of money in your pocket every single month. So now you have just produced a cash flowing asset that's making you money every single month without you having to physically go to work, because this property is gonna be generating you income without you having to physically manage this property, because you can hire a property management company to do all of your day-to-day work for you. With stocks, it's a little bit different. Now what you're doing in the stock market is, instead of you going to the mall to shop for clothes, now you're shopping for companies that are selling the clothes. What you're doing here is, when you buy a stock on the stock market, you're buying a piece of ownership in a company. So if you go out and you buy 1 share of the Amazon corporation, you're buying a little piece of ownership in the Amazon company. So now if Amazon goes out and makes a whole bunch of money, well, now you're gonna get your share of the profits because you own a little bit of the Amazon company. The difference here when you invest your money is you are becoming a producer. You are now a producer of some sort of value. Here, you are the producer of a place where someone can live or work. You are the producer of this value, so someone's gonna pay you to access your value. Here, you're the producer of stuff. If you own a share in the Amazon Corporation, you're the producer of the Amazon company. So as these companies make more money, so do you. So what you're doing now is you're shifting your mindset. Most people just have a consumer mindset where when they have money, they want to go out and spend it and they want to make everybody else around them rich. Well, that's good news if you're here or here, but it's not good news for the person that's just blowing all of their money. So what I want you to do is, yeah, of course you got to spend your money, and I want you to be able to have all the nice things and afford all the nice things that you want. But in order to get there, you have to be the producer too. You have to be the person that owns this and that owns this. That way now you're the one that's making money. If you are interested in learning more about the different ways that you can invest your money and start generating some passive income, our team has put together an amazing guide on passive income that'll walk you through a few different passive income strategies that you can start today to start generating passive income. This guide is completely free when you sign up for a daily newsletter. So if you want to get a free guide on passive income, I got the link to how you can download it in the description below. The sixth thing you got to do now, so you never got to worry about money again after you start investing your money and after you build this financial system where you know how much money you can spend, you know how much you should be investing, you know how much you should be saving, you know what a need is, you know what a want is, you know what an asset is, you know what a liability is. The next thing you got to do is you got to start making some more money, because what you're going to realize is, okay, now you're putting a little bit of money aside every single month, and maybe you're living a lot smaller. That way you can put more money towards your investments, and you like the idea of investing your money, and you're doing everything you can to invest your money. But if you really want to accelerate this and you want to buy more rental properties, you want to buy more stocks, you want to buy more assets so you can achieve this wealth quicker, well, now you got to start attracting more money. You got to produce more value so you have more money. That way you can invest more aggressively right now. This might mean that you're going to have to work harder at your job. Maybe you're trying to get a raise or a promotion or a bigger bonus check or a bigger commission check. Now you're just trying to earn more money. Maybe this means that you're going to try to start a side hustle, or you're going to work on a side business. That way you have some other income opportunities outside of your job if you don't really like your job. Whatever you got to do now is you got to find a way to produce more value. Because the more value you produce, the more money you're gonna make. Once you get to the point where you know how to use your money, because now you know how to spend your money, you know how to invest your money, you know how to save your money, now it's all about attracting more money. That way you can take as much money as possible and put it towards investments. This is where you have to be smart. The reason why I'm talking about this now rather than in the beginning of the video is because most people think that the solution to their financial problems is just to make more money. I'm making $3,000 a month, but I'm spending $3,500 a month. So if I just got a $600 a month raise, then I'll be able to pay off all my bills and have some money to save and invest. But what happens for most people when they do that is they make a little bit more money and then boop, their expenses go up too, because they don't know how to use their money the right way. That's why I want you to know how to use your money the right way first. And once you know how to use your money the right way, now it's all about amplifying the process. It's about putting fuel on the fire. Now it's time for you to make more money. That way you have more money to invest. I want you to make your money smartly now. So you're making more money for what? For the purpose of investing your money so you can buy more assets, so you can build this wealth quicker, so you can stop worrying about money. Now we're at a goal, number 7. Now you can finally let your investments pay your bills. Now there's 2 different ways that you can let your investments pay your bills quicker. The first way is you just shrink your lifestyle. You start spending less money, you live smaller, you spend less money. That way it's easier for you to have enough investments to pay your bills. And the second option is you invest more money, you create more investments, you build bigger assets, you earn more money to own more assets. That way now you have enough money to pay for your bills. My goal for you is not to live smaller forever. My goal for you is not to shrink the pie. My goal for you is to have a growth mindset, for you to grow the pie. That way you can earn more money, have bigger investments, that way you can have your dream lifestyle, not just so you can be pinching pennies for the rest of your life. This is what it takes for you to be free. You have to have your investments paying for your lifestyle. Once you do that, now you're free and you can do whatever you want. You can go to work every single day and not worry about all the little stresses that come with work because you're financially free. You can go on a vacation whenever you want because now you know that when you come back, you're gonna have another check in the mail because your investments keep paying you, and you're gonna be able to go out and enjoy a nice dinner without worrying about the cost because you got your investments paying you every single month. Every month you're gonna have another check coming from your investments because you know that you've been using your money the right way. This type of wealth doesn't happen overnight. It takes years for this to happen, but you have to be consistent and you have to start today. It starts with baby steps. You gotta start by just working on the money that you do have. You gotta work on stop spending so much money so you got some extra cash. Once you got this extra cash, you gotta start putting it to work. Once you kind of understand the system of how to put your money to work and how to spend your money the right way, now it's all about fueling the fire. You got to increase the amount of money you're making so you have more money to invest. You want to be investing as aggressively as possible. That way you have this asset that's growing to work to make you more money. That way now your assets can pay for your lifestyle. Once you get here, this is where things get fun because now you can use your extra money to do whatever you want. You can invest in more fun things. You can invest in startup companies. You can go on more trips. You can have a lot more fun because you're financially free and you don't got to worry about money the way that you used to. But it all starts with the little steps that you start taking today. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, here's a video on things that you should not do when you get paid that I think you'll love. And while you're at it, download our free passive income guide. And as always, keep hustling. You're not competing against your neighbor to see who's saving more money, and you're not competing against your cousin Bunty to see who has more money, because we all know that Bunty doesn't have any savings. He's the one that's blowing all his money at Gucci. You're competing against the Federal Reserve Bank.